Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today's reaction video is going to be a Dax reaction. This is for his song Black Lives Matter, and if it is what I think it's about, I think this is going to be a pretty interesting one to react to, especially in these times where I believe it's more important than ever that we watch videos like this and we open the discussion and try and change things. And it's been recommended a couple of times. So without further ado, let's get into this video and see what it's about. Remember when we were kids and didn't see colour? That vocal straight away. Wow, that's powerful.
Yeah, this a revolution in our time. Everybody's fighting, change coming, yes. That's why it's an acronym for riot. Everybody has...
Wow, okay, straight off, that vocal was very emotional and it goes perfectly with this. This is some powerful footage in here as well, so it just combined, it really drives the message home. Revolution in our time is an acronym for riot. That is crazy. I've never ever thought of it that way, and that's what I love about Dax, his ability to play on words. So far I know this is going to be pretty emotional and it's going to be amazing. It's Dax, it's always amazing. So okay, let's carry on. Just run it back a little bit.
Everybody's fighting, change coming, yes. That's why it's an acronym for riot. Everybody has a voice. Don't you dare stay silent. If you say nothing, you are an accessory to violence. Let these words dry the tears of our people that are crying. We can bring back hope, but not the people that are dying. It's what happens when the people you've oppressed ask for change in the country that they built, but you've ignored and denied.
Wow, yeah, that is so true. If you stay silent, you're an accessory to violence. I believe that everybody needs to stand up and speak, to shout it from the rooftops that this is not okay. The way we treat people of colour is not okay. It's never been okay, but it is definitely not okay now. We're in the year 2020, soon to be in the year 2021, and we're still having this discussion. We're still having people who are protesting and screaming for change, and they've just been ignored over and over again, and it is not good enough. It is time to change this, people. And as a white person, I believe that it is our responsibility to stand up and make our voices heard, to use our white privilege to make people sit up and take notice. So far, this is absolutely incredible. I love this. This is such an important message, as I say, for everybody to hear. So let's run that back a little bit and carry on.
For change in the country that they built, but you've ignored and denied. This is Sandra Bland, George Floyd, and every single family. Police brutality is intervened in and destroyed. Couple bad cops can't define all you other boys, so every good cop needs to stand up and make some noise. Black.
Exactly. Not all cops are bad. There are a lot of cops, the majority of them out there do great things, and they are amazing at their job, and they will do anything they can to prevent violence or fatality. That's what a cop should do. Killing someone should be the absolute last resort when you're reacting to a situation. And that's why we need to have the police reformed and retrained so that they know how to deal with situations, any situation that comes up, especially regarding people of colour or black people, because there are far too many killings to name. There are far too many, and it is still going on even since George Floyd, when all of this blew up. There has still been other killings. It just doesn't make sense. I see so many videos where black people are being brutalised and the police are being violent towards them, and you can't help but think this has got to be a race issue. This is because I see other videos where they don't treat white people like this. They'll arrest them and handcuff them and cart them off, but they will not use violence or brutality the way they do to black people or brown people or other people of colour. This is a race issue, and there's no denying it anymore. There are far too many incidents out there, far too many videos out there for people to bury their head in the sand and pretend that this is not a race issue, because it is, and it's been going on for so long. It's time it stopped. It's time it stopped. We have to do something about it. We have to hold the police accountable. I love that video, by the way, where with the black guy in the army gear, and he was mouthing along with the protesters as they were chanting, "I'm black and I'm proud." the fact that he was still doing his job, but he was still able to stand there as a proud black man and say that along with the protesters is incredible. It's a very powerful image. So let's just go back.
Every good cop needs to stand up and make some noise. Black, white, Asian, doesn't matter because we can't avoid. So let's all come together, join hands, and just get annoyed at people who believe racism makes sense in a country built up minorities, slaves, work employed. Nobody's born racist, man. It's something you learn, deep rooted in your brain from the day of your birth. I think it's time that we repair all of these bridges we burned and let love out of our hearts onto the cheeks we've turned. Spread love, show love. Let's get rid of this curse. Don't wait for anyone to act. Man, you go first. 400 years wasted. Let's get rid of this hurt, because that's the only way we'll ever see peace on earth.
Wow. Those words are so powerful. One thing I will say about this footage that's been used in this video, it is shocking to see that people have to do this, but at the same time, it's an incredible thing when you see people of all skin tones coming together, and all ages and all from all backgrounds coming together to express their horror and their sympathy for people within the black community and people of colour. I love to see it because this is what's needed. This is what is needed. I love it. I'm with you, Dax. I'm with you all.
What we really need. Cut me open, cut you open, res the color every single human being bleeds. Let's come together, cops, citizens, and in between, and rally for the rights of everybody in humanity. Black, blue, white, green, playing for the same team. Mine, them okay, but boy, that doesn't mean I can't dream. Black lives matter, shouldn't anger you or make you scream. All lives matter because we aren't treated equally. Remember when we were kids?
As a white person, it frustrates me. So God knows how it makes people of colour feel when they have to have this argument over and over again. It's so frustrating when you see on like the likes of social media, or you hear people saying, or in response to Black Lives Matter, they say, yeah, but all lives matter. Yes, of course they do. Of course all lives matter. They should, shouldn't they? All lives should matter. But the fact is they don't. That is the cold hard truth. They do not matter, because if they did, you wouldn't have racism. So the fact is, all lives can't matter because black lives don't matter as much. That's the way it is, systemically and on a personal level for a lot of people. That's how a lot of people feel still in society, which is why you still have systemic racism around. When people say all lives matter, it's kind of like, I know this analogy's sort of been used, a lot of analogies have been used to try and explain this to people who still don't get it. Imagine if you've got a row of houses and one of those houses is on fire and the firefighters go in and they're putting out the fire of that house. And then you get somebody that comes up and says, but what about all the other houses? Because all houses matter. You would not go up to a person that's conducting a funeral for their child and say, yeah, but all children matter. You wouldn't go up to somebody that's raising money for charity on the street for, say, breast cancer, and go up to them and say, yeah, but what about all the other cancers? Because all cancers matter. Yes, that stands to reason. It's pretty damn obvious. But say, for example, you've got a house on fire. You're going to tackle that one first, aren't you? To keep everybody else safe. That is the one that's on fire. That is the one that's in trouble right now. So you're going to secure that house. And it's exactly the same for the black community. They're the ones that are in trouble now. They are the ones that matter right now. Nowhere in Black Lives Matter does it say only Black Lives Matter or Black Lives Matter more. Nowhere does it use the words only or more. I can't understand why people still don't get this. Why people still have to protest a protest. It doesn't make sense to me. I really don't get it. And the whole thing with racism isn't something you're born with. It's something that you're taught. That is so true. And we need to make sure that kids in schools and at home and on the streets and in the workplace are taught that racism is not okay. We need to change attitudes of the people around those children that we're bringing up. And kids, yes, of course, kids see colour. They'll get to a point in their life where, of course, yeah, it won't matter to them at first, but then as they start becoming more aware of their surroundings and the people around them and differences as well as similarities, they will notice these things. Of course they will. But the difference is they don't weaponise it. They don't care about it. As far as they're concerned, they're just people. They just have a different skin colour, just like people have different hair colours, people have different eye colours. And it is up to adults, it is up to all of us to teach kids that racism is not okay. And if you see it, you call it out. And that's how I want to bring my kids up, my 2 kids up. They're 5 and, well, the youngest of it is 3, but he'll be 4 in January. And I've had this conversation with my 5-year-old. She has people that are mixed race. She has Asian people or a couple of Indian people in her class. You know, teachers as well are quite diverse. And I've asked her, you know, in front of my 3-year-old as well, so he's kind of aware of it. And if he describes somebody that's of a different skin colour, same as she will say, well, you know, so-and-so has brown skin and black hair or brown hair and brown eyes. They notice the difference. They do know the difference. But the difference with that is, with kids and a lot of adults, is that it doesn't matter to them. They recognise it as a difference, but they accept that person anyway, because to them, they're just their friends. They're just people. They're just people. They just look a little bit different. So that's how I want to bring our kids up, is to recognise people's differences and embrace them and accept them and respect them and say, hey, wouldn't it be boring if everybody looked the same? That's how I think we should raise children, is to embrace diversity, embrace difference, but also realise that there's nothing wrong with it. It's okay to be different. Okay, so let's run that back.
Anger you will make you scream. All lives matter because we aren't treated equally. Remember when we were kids and didn't see color, and when we played in kindergarten and I called you my brother. Then we grew up and they taught us we should hate on each other, even though we weren't in the same and we all came from our mothers. I hope y'all understand. Hate is not a trait, it was learned, man. Equality is the quality we need inside this earth, man. Give and receive is the karma that you earn, man.
It's so heartrending. Family. Wow. Oh, it's all of us against racism. Yes, it is. It is all of us against racism. We all have to stand up and say, enough is enough. We can't live like this anymore. We shouldn't have to live like this anymore. People of colour shouldn't have to live like this anymore. It's gone on way too long, and it's time for change. It is time for change. And it sickens me as well that there are a lot of people that claim to be Christians when you see these videos of things like this going on. Dare I say it, a lot of Trump supporters who are racist, and you see these videos of them kind of going on a racist rant to somebody, and you think, okay, but you're supposed to be Christian. What do you think Jesus would think of you right now and the way you're speaking to somebody, a fellow human being? I'm not a hugely religious person. I don't go to church. But Jesus was all about love. Jesus taught love. And he would be disgusted. As a white person, I pledge that if ever I see racism happening in front of me, I will call it out. I'm not going to stay silent. And that can be a stranger on the street. That could be a friend of mine. That could be a family member. I don't care. People like that have no place or no business preaching that kind of hatred in my presence. Seeing all of this happen and the whole Black Lives Matter thing in terms of that, and as a white person, I believe that it is extra important that we take responsibility, because it's unnecessary and it's cruel and it's evil. Anyway, I loved this video. Dax did another great job. I'm so glad I reacted to it. It's very important to me. So if you enjoyed this too, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, so you can keep up with all my other reaction videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye.